Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween.
Once it takes a picture of you, you'll be able to pick a pre-designed costume, or you can type in your own costume.
Built this week, breaking it down. Built this week, we show you how. A fresh idea, a clever tweak. You locked in, you built this week.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Built This Week, episode 18, the podcast where we share what we're building, how we're building it, and what it means for the world of AI and startups. I'm Sam Nadler, a co-founder here at Rise Labs, and each week I'm joined by my friend, business partner, and co-host Jordan. What's up, Jordan? How are you today?
Yo, Sam, how's it going? Episode 18, another crazy week in AI. Massive announcements from the hyperscalers. So yeah, another exciting week, and we've got some really fun, cool tools to share with everybody this week.
Yeah, we have a really fun, I would even argue, seasonal product to highlight this week. But before I get into the agenda, just remember to like and subscribe. We have new episodes every Friday of Built This Week. You can find them on your favorite podcast platform, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And yeah, we're excited about everything that's happening in AI and startups. So tune in to hear about the latest. This week, we're going to talk about a really fun tool that we built. It's almost a kind of culture building tool, seasonal tool that we're calling the TrickOrTreat Rise tool. And it's a fun combination. You'll jump into it, but uses Nano Banana and Veo 3.1, I believe. We're also going to talk about one of our favorite internal tools to distribute and post content called Publer. And then lastly, we have some latest and greatest AI news, some new products from OpenAI and just some funny news stories to talk about. Anything top of mind before we jump into the TrickOrTreat Rise tool?
Yeah, super excited to share this. I know it's a little early before Halloween, but I thought it was a good time to share. Just wanted to add, you say like and subscribe, and I think every podcast does, but, if we could just ask you to share the podcast with a friend or two, that would be the most helpful for us. So just, telling another friend, entrepreneur, builder, someone who's interested in AI, just sending them a link to our YouTube video channel, whatever, that would be the most helpful. So really help us build the channel up. I don't know if you know this, Sam, but almost at 14,000 subscribers on YouTube. So channel's been growing a lot, and we're almost at our 20th episode. So excited to jump into it today.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Tell me about TrickOrTreat. I know, this is kind of a fun tool we just built for our teams to use. Maybe there's some professional applications, but I would say in the past 48 hours that it has been built, there's been a lot of action among our wider kind of internal Rise teammates. But what is it? How'd we build it? And yeah, give me the demo.
Okay, cool. So before this starts, I got the idea from someone on Twitter. And her name is Paige Bailey, and her Twitter handle is Dynamic Web Page. That's spelled Paige. And she is the DevX Eng lead at Google DeepMind, previously at GitHub. And I saw Paige essentially post a little product demo that she built with a webcam and using Nano Banana and Veo 3.1. And I thought, that's like a cool tool. I think that'd be something fun to use. So I built our own version of it. We have our own flavor to it here at Rise Labs. Doesn't have the most creative name as you mentioned earlier, TrickOrTreat Rise Costume Builder or something like that. I don't know. Maybe we need a better name generator as next week's episode. But I told Paige that I would shout her out to make sure that this idea was definitely hers. But I took her idea and ran with it and built something for ourselves. And I know internally our teams have had a ton of fun doing this. So I'm going to jump into the app now, and I'll walk you through how it works. What it does is a multi-step process. So the first thing it does, it uses your computer's webcam. And this works both on the computer as well as on your phone. And what it'll do is take a picture of you. Once it takes a picture of you, you'll be able to pick a pre-designed costume. And you'll see what I mean by that, or you can type in your own costume. And then once it does that, it'll take that costume as a lead image, use it in a Veo 3.1 generation, and it'll say a happy Halloween message. So it doesn't have your voice. It doesn't really know that much about you. It just has this one kind of image. And yeah, here you can see my office space here without my background on. Let's do a quick image capture, and then we can decide together what we want to generate. So
Perfect.
Let's do this. Okay, cool. All right. And, should we be a pirate, a superhero, a ninja, or should we create our own?
Let's try Ninja.
Okay, let's go for ninja.
Haven't seen that one yet.
And then I just click here, transform into a ninja. And the Nano Banana generation is pretty fast. It's usually about like 20 to 40 seconds or so. And I should become a ninja. And then it takes about, there I am, a ninja. I don't know if those are exactly my eyes, or even my face, but it's definitely my body movement in my office. So there I am, a ninja. And you can download the image here. And so you got like a little ninja. But now what it should do is take this ninja and make a little happy Halloween ninja video with it. And we can try this a few different ways and try some, different prompts just to see how well it works. Once it finishes, I'll show you. We have like a little gallery. And I think it was just, the culmination of kind of the newest technologies on the edge to make a little fun tool. I know people in the office made all different things from, vampires to wizards to, custom costumes as well. And I was just trying to get everyone into the Halloween spirit a little bit, and a fun little tool to build. And I can just, even when it generates these videos, you can kind of see like what part of it's good and what part is bad. I mean, even the image generation, you can see kind of it's the early days, and, it's not exactly me, but here we go.
All right, here we go.
Happy Halloween!
Well, it's pretty dramatic. So here you can download the video, you can download the image, you can go to the gallery, you can see some technical details here. And why don't we create another one one more time? This one I can do. Let's do it with just one hand, let's say.
What about a rock star in a fist? There we go.
Okay, cool. All right. So how about we do like a 1800s gunslinger? Something
there we
like
go.
that. Cool.
Cowboy.
All right, my hand. Yeah, cowboy kind of thing. All right, so I got my hand like that, trying to look a little more serious in this one. And the ninja one's pretty funny. It just, it's not that one, kind of looks like me. Yeah, you can see how fast it is. I mean, it took my whole background out. It kept my hand impression. I mean, the hand is almost, I think, the identical hand, even though the microphone is like cutting off my wrist a little bit. So in that case, like pretty good. The style is pretty good. I mean, we didn't give it much context. And then we should get another, 1800s Happy Halloween video. Let's see how it goes. So we'll put these in kind of full content inside the podcast and post. But I'd love to get your feedback on it. I know you've tried it a little bit, but love to hear what you think of the Rise Labs costume creator tool. And
Wait. Happy Halloween!
Yeah, a couple thoughts. Number one, it's been really fun for our team to use. A teammate this morning told me, based on one of the videos, it actually inspired her what she was going to be for Halloween. So that's kind of fun. But number two, I think what could be interesting here is just like quickly how you built this. I believe you built it using Replit, but you were telling me yesterday that there's this, I don't know how new it is, but this planning feature on Replit that makes, builds that much easier and robust before you actually start the building process. Because I'm not sure if you used it on this exact build, but it could be fun to talk about that. And then lastly, professional applications. I mean, even in our own, this is more of a fun, like Halloween themed angle. But we're already using Veo 3 for B-roll and to supplement our actual original content. And I think this is just another theoretical way you could take an image, you can enhance it, and then you can generate a video for it. We are going to cover a tool that we use to publish social media content across multiple channels, but the, theoretical acceleration of just a generic webcam video into video content that could later be published. I mean, it's so much faster with these tools. So those are the high level kind of what I'm immediately thinking.
So just to kind of run through them real quick, I built this in Replit. The APIs that I'm using are Nano Banana from Google, as well as Veo 3.1 Fast. I'm serving them up actually through replicate.com. As I have an account there and I have my API keys like stored pretty easily already in Replit. It's not a very complicated application. So, you simply turn on the webcam, it captures an image. We take that image, we send it to the Nano Banana API and get the new corresponding image. And then, we use that image as the source image to generate the video, with a little prompt about making a Halloween video. So, it's been super fun to play with. You can see that it's not a perfect replica of me. It's not a perfect replica of kind of the output. A lot of the videos will say like Happy Halloween, like blah, 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 blah. And it's not like real words. Like you can kind of see the mumble, I guess you would say, like mumbling of the characters. And it kind of reminds me of like how we used to see a lot of the lettering and like image generation with AI kind of like not be real words, and most of that's kind of gotten solved to this point. So I think we'll see like consistent improvements. We've talked about on previous episodes how, NVIDIA is working on a video exclusive chip that should come out in 2026. And so you can just imagine like how much more powerful that could be to these types of video generation models. And as Sora 2 also, could be used to do this as well. I simply went on the Google Stack because I saw, the example and I just thought it was like a fun way to build. So yeah, I think to your point, it's definitely a cool creative way for people to get costume ideas and even just make some of their own fun social media content. And, we'll definitely try to include some of the best outcomes here. But
okay, cool. Yeah. As part of our goal to create and deploy more content, one of kind of our favorite tools to do this that we use internally is Publer. And basically the way Publer works, it lets you have a kind of a central dashboard to push content across multiple platforms in a really systematic way. So for instance, using Built This Week as an example, we have multiple accounts, social accounts for Built This Week. Obviously, we have LinkedIn, we have YouTube for shorts and for the podcast. We have X, we have TikTok, etc. So, if you were to go one by one and upload all the content we're trying to push from just one episode, it would be a hassle. And this way you can kind of queue everything up in Publer. You can, I think there's some AI integrations to help you write the posts. You can do hashtags, you can schedule it. Obviously there's analytics. So it allows you to be very systematic and organized and deploy content across multiple channels in a really streamlined way. And we love it here. But yeah, give me your high level take on Publer.
So Publer is a social media syndication platform. It is not the only syndication platform that's out there. There's a lot of social media syndication platforms. In fact, Canva has a built-in scheduling and syndication platform. And before we were using Publer, we were using another content syndication platform that did something pretty similar to the way Publer works. So I don't want to say that it's kind of the only platform that you can use to do this. There's many that you can use to do this. But we find that using Publer to schedule social media content across all of our different channels, not only to be an effective mechanism to get content out there, but it's kind of the only way we'd be able to do it. If we weren't able to use a tool like Publer, we would probably, have our social team be spending hours and hours a day just to get content live. And that would just make it impossible. So I think like if we just show kind of how the Publer calendar looks like, I think it might show the gravity of the type of content that we're pushing out, including this podcast. But on any one given day, you can see 19 posts, 8 posts, 18 posts, 14 posts. So across all different brands, all different social media content, we're pushing out content nonstop. And, if you were to push 19 different unique posts across, 7 different social media platforms across 5 different brands, and it might take you the entire day and, you probably wouldn't even finish. So, you could just see how a platform like this, allows us to scale. Yeah. The way the platform works is you connect your social media platforms. It supports pretty much all the major ones, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. You can create a team, so you can allow your team to join in and have permissions to certain accounts. And then you can go on and create your content. You can schedule it. You can make changes to it. If I just go to click create here, I can simply pick kind of the social channels I want to create something with. I can add the content here. I can use an AI assistant, and then I'll get a preview of what this content's going to look like. And then I can simply go here into my scheduler, and I can select here by scheduling. I can pick the times in which I want this to be scheduled, if I want it to recur, etc. And so what this does is just really allow you to scale up your social media content across channels. And, honestly, I mean, I'm posting consistently across my channels. And if I had to manage that myself, I know it would be almost unmanageable. So, there are some small nuances. I know for like things like Instagram, you need to have a business account versus a personal account. And I think that's true for some of the other platforms as well. But, we're just big believers in social media syndication platforms like Publer. And it's been a huge advantage for Rise Labs and all of our sub businesses as well. What do you think about it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know it would be really hard for our team to do what they do with as much content as we're pushing across our brands without a tool like Publer. And there's a couple others out there. I know we've used another one previously, and for the price point and the tooling, Publer is the one we've stuck with. But yeah, I think it's a great tool, and essentially allows us to do more with less. So I do have some news I'm ready to transition to. Is there anything else on Publer you'd like to cover?
No, I mean, I think in general we covered it for the most part. I think Buffer was the one we were using before Publer, if we wanted to mention that. But yeah, like I said, Canva has a scheduling tool. They're pretty inexpensive, and they become a great way for startups and tech companies and almost any company to really scale up their social media postings across channels. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, let's do it.
Also, one last thing on Publer that was really helpful. We have a small social team. One of our teammates took an extended European vacation for a couple weeks, and having all the content preloaded, it was almost, like we never missed a beat for that short period of time she was away. Obviously, she's back and able to do more, but just having that as a stopgap and having it all scheduled just made that period a lot easier.
Yeah, the brands never stop posting, and they don't know who's on vacation and who's not on vacation because you're just being very consistent in getting your content out there.
Okay. Moving on, our first article is a bit of a stinker. We both think this is a pretty funny new device, but Kohler, the toilet brand, has unveiled a new camera for your toilet. Yes, that is true. Something that I guess truly analyzes your output. Obviously, I know that there is a lot of potential health benefits from analyzing a person's waste. And I know there's a couple other companies that do this, but maybe every element of our health doesn't need to be optimized. But we both thought that this was a little funny device to analyze your poop.
Yeah, well, I don't want to poo-poo on your news sections, but I did think this was a great story that we could both shit on together. What is interesting here that, Kohler putting a camera inside your toilet sounds really weird. I know it's not the first device that's done that, but the reality is that by imaging bowel movements and urine, you can actually learn a lot. And I think this is the beginning of AI entering the bathroom. We haven't really seen even something like a smart toothbrush in Sonicare. I think Sonicare is like, I don't know, I was 20, 30 years old as far as technology goes. I think this is interesting. I don't know if I want a camera inside my toilet yet. But I could definitely see a future in which, you have a smart toilet, it's got a camera in, it's got a sensor, it knows who's on the toilet. And it's, recording all this data, and, you go to see your doctor, and your doctor's got, pretty much every piece of information about, everything that happened in the bathroom, with analysis. And I think that could be incredibly helpful. And especially for patients that have certain types of illnesses, especially for people who have IBS or other types of diseases that, this could be actually fundamental, for their health and be a huge improvement, and almost like a glucose monitor type of style. But, it's certainly, a stinky story, and, I thought it'd be fun to share with everybody here.
Great. Yeah, it's a fun story. I think I'll pass personally, but it'll be interesting to see what sales or adoption is like. The next news that we're going to cover today is OpenAI launched Atlas yesterday. I downloaded today, poked around a little bit. Haven't really had too much time using the Atlas browser. I think what's more interesting is kind of the overarching strategy. I think Google took a couple % hit yesterday just on the news alone. I know you've downloaded it and started using it. But really, it makes sense that OpenAI is going to have its own web browser, but does it, how significantly does it threaten Google's business? And yeah, what's your take? And how much time have you had using it? I've only used it for about 20 minutes, so I don't have too much of a usability opinion yet.
5 to 7 years of experience. Yeah, I downloaded it yesterday. After it came out, there was kind of like a pop-up in ChatGPT to download it, so I downloaded it. I've used it a little bit kind of side by side with Chrome. I have used only a few of the AI features. I think there's a few kind of key points that make the browser interesting and competitive. The first thing is that it's very fast. Chrome has historically taken up a lot of resources. It is the best browser on the market. Everybody uses Chrome. However, it's incredibly heavy and taking up like system resources. So one thing I'd first noticed was that it's very lightweight, and it feels very fast to run. So that was like kind of a cool thing. The next is, when you're searching or you type in kind of a search or a website or something like that, you're immediately brought into like a ChatGPT conversation. And obviously that's like kind of the first major threat to kind of Google, because rather than like searching on Google to find a website and then linking to that website, you're brought into like a ChatGPT conversation if they can't figure out the domain you're typing in. So, if you type in something like Gmail and hit enter, you're going to go to gmail.com directly. But if you type in something like, built this week podcast, you're actually, instead of getting like a Google search result, you're getting a ChatGPT search result, which, as we mentioned, is obviously a pretty big threat to Google. As we mentioned in previous episode, I think it was last week, we talked about shopping. You can start to see how shopping starts to get into this, right? So, you're on your new browser, you're searching for iPhone cases, right? They have shopping integrated, you check out, and you never even leave like the chat experience. And then the last piece is just the integration of ChatGPT as like a side panel. And you can kind of see it here in the video as it runs through. It does a good job of doing like page summaries. It looks here like they showed, what's the best thing here on the page. Also, it looks like they show some examples of it doing some analysis of the page. I found it to be like pretty like rudimentary right now, but I do believe it'll just get better and better with like future versions, to the point that almost like you never really touch the page. You just talk to the bot and say like, okay, I need this, and this, like, just go check it out, and like maybe even use your voice to do it. And the bot says like, okay, like I'll do that and let you know when I'm done. But yeah, it's definitely an exciting day. I do want to talk about Atlas before we talk about the final story, but I do think they're tied hand in hand. And I think that, OpenAI's decision to launch Atlas, yesterday, was purposeful. Especially for the impact of Google's announcement as well. So yeah, curious, any other last comments on Atlas, I guess, before we move on?
Yeah, I used it in the 20 minutes I used it before the filming of this podcast was to kind of recommend a purchase. I'm looking for a family passport holder to store kind of passports and travel documents for a group of 4. Pulled up Amazon, chatted, kind of put my parameters into the chat. It asked a couple questions. I answered those questions, and it surfaced 2 or 3 options, and gave me kind of its recommendation. I didn't move forward with the purchase. I just had other things to do, but I thought that feature was interesting. I basically didn't have to search. It gave me like, do you want affordable? Do you want high end? Do you want, functionality? Okay, based on what you're looking for, we think this one's the best, but here are other 2 options. And it just kind of makes it easy.
Yeah. This is, one of the things, the browser asks you is to enable memory. And I think this is kind of like the key unlock feature here. is how well AI can really learn about us. And I think this will hit when you think about websites where you spend extensive amount of time finding what you want. And an example of that might be, Sam, like, an Airbnb search. Let's say you're taking your family on vacation for, a few days, and you're going to, maybe my favorite place, Destin, Florida. And, you're looking for a spot for your family, and maybe you've been to Destin, Florida, like, multiple times in a row. And so you kind of know what you liked, right? You kind of know you want a house, you kind of know, you want a pool, you want a view, you want to be near the beach, maybe you want something for the kids, like a playroom or something, right? And so every time you go to Airbnb, you kind of start with the same search, like I'm looking for a house in Destin, like, then you put all these filters on, you got to have Wi-Fi and the hot tub and whatnot, I think, this is where it starts to get interesting, where you can start to say to the chat, hey, I'm going to Destin again, get me the best house. And it already knows like kind of like your price and like your willingness to pay and all these things. And, kind of maybe whittles it down to like the top 3 choices, but it's already gone through and kind of done all of those searches for you, looked at the images. And so you can start to see how like that agent can kind of work in the background, save you a ton of time. In the example here, it's talking about Instacart and, United Flights. But, I think it's a super exciting kind of just the abilities to start to use agents to browse the web for us. And I think, when they start to work really well, I think they'll become superpowers for people.
Cool. And moving on to the last story, Google AI Studio has launched a new vibe coding tool. Both of us are, pretty familiar with the portfolio of different vibe coding tools out there. I would say you are an expert, and I believe you like this one a lot.
Amazing. So Google announced this yesterday. They call it AI Studio Build, I guess they call it. You can, basically build applications in the same way that Lovable and Bolt and Veo.dev and even like Codex and Cloud Code work. But you can do it all in the browser. It's built by Google. They say it's powered by Gemini 2.5 Pro. And it feels just really, really good. They have some pre-made templates here. So, you're looking at 16 pre-made templates already. Animate images with Veo, use an AI-powered chatbot, to do customer support, use Google Maps data, control images, transcribe audio. So, just the pre-built templates alone are pretty awesome and pretty intensive. I asked it to build a little chatbot for me, based on the Built This Week podcast. And so, I can jump into that. I think first I should probably have it start to build something just so you and I can kind of show what that interface looks like. But, let's just say we want to build like, I don't know, maybe something like, a weather clock app for LA and Nashville. Does that sound okay? Is that like too easy? Weather and time app for, Los Angeles and Nashville. And, let's say make it pretty. And, let's go build. And here you go. It's just going to see kind of the same type of UI you've seen in other apps. What's cool here is they show you some ideas. Like here, add weather alerts, start from a gallery, add hourly forecast. So while the app is actually like building its feature set, it's actually thinking of new ideas and recommending them to you that you can actually add into your build so you can actually continue to build and make it better and better, right? And that's just, one way to kill time, right? Like obviously these things are building. And I know we are running out of time, but I think we'll have enough time that this should get built and we'll have a little demo of it. And I think that'll show you like this is all Google. I do have a Google Gemini paid account, so I'm not sure what permissions you need, but whoa, look how fast that was. Look how fast that was, Sam. Definitely the fastest thing we've built so far. Here it is. Yeah.
It definitely does not feel like 82 degrees here in Nashville today, but I wonder if that's accurate. But can you deploy to the web? In Bolt, you can essentially take your build and pretty much deploy it immediately.
Here we go, baby. Deploy the app. We can push it to GitHub. We can download the app. We can save it. We can share it with like a virtual link. You can add some private, switch to API key. So I guess you can like API your own app. You can test different devices. So I guess we could test what it looks like on mobile. Even if we rotate it. So yeah, pretty cool. And then here's the code. Yeah. So Honestly, I think this is a huge day for Google. Really, really awesome product. And you can see all of these products are converging more and more, and just the ability to be able to say kind of anything you want and then get it built so quickly. So anyway, yeah, that's Google AI Studio. I think it goes hand in hand with the Atlas announcement as well. And overall, just, yeah, really fun episode, Sam. Really great to catch up with you.
Great episode, Jordan. Everyone like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Built this week, breaking it down. Built this week, we show you how. A fresh idea, a clever tweak. You locked in, you built